You can hear me? Okay, wait a minute. Can you hear me? Cool. Thank you. Well, again, I'm Kasper Juhl, and I'm the director of the movie you just saw. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, anything, whatever is on your mind, just throw it out there and I will try to answer it as good as I can. It's like 5 in the morning where I am, so bear with me if I seem a little tired. I'm from Denmark, so... Okay, I have a question here from PD Superman 17. What inspired you to film this movie? Yeah, I wrote the film for about 2 years ago, and I always wanted to make this kind of art house, experimental, abstract horror movie. So I wrote a synopsis for 2 years ago, and then we began shooting in 1 year later. And I always like these kind of weird movies, and I'm a huge fan of, for example, Karim Hussein and Lucifer Valentine's and such. So they inspired me to make my own experimental movie, and I'm a huge fan of the universe and questions about why do we live and why do we suffer. So I wanted to add this into my film. And I really love horror, so I wanted to make a very brutal horror movie while I will mix it up with some beautiness of the universe and stuff. So yeah, that's my inspirations. Okay, I got a question here. Tell us about what it's like to make horror films in Denmark. Is there a large horror fan base there? Is there a lot of governmental involvement? I guess that the horror in Denmark only exists in the underground, but we actually have a lot of very small underground independent film festivals. And there is this community in Denmark where there is actually a lot of people who are doing horror movies. And that's pretty cool, I guess, but you can go into a big cinema and see a Danish horror film. That's pretty rare that will happen. So yeah, it only exists in the underground, I guess, but that's kind of cool because people who watch horror movies in the underground, they're good fans. Okay, another question. Do American horror films make it to the cinemas there? Yeah, all the bad ones does. Not the good ones. But I don't think they sell so much in here in Denmark, so that's probably why. But we got all, the big Hollywood horror films like Mama, and yeah, I don't like those. So, but that's what we get, and we'll have to stick with that, I guess. Okay, another question. What horror films did you enjoy as a kid? Well, my favorite horror movie has always been Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the old one, of course. That's just that film will always be in my heart. But then I also enjoy The Exorcist, of course, and I was growing up with watching Friday the 13th, so that's the kind of movies I really liked when I was a kid, and I still do. Okay, another question. How did you start out making movies? Did you attend any sort of film school, or was it pick up and go and experiment? Well, I got a video camera when I was 8 years old, and then I began to make short films with my toys, and I just covered all my toys in film blood and stuff. So that was how I started up, and then it had just been more, professional in the last couple of years. And I'm actually attending a film school right now called the European Film College So that's actually where I am right now in my room. So, but other than that, I have no. I did attend any film schools at all. Okay, another question. What advice would you give people going into filmmaking? Well, as you probably have heard before, it is then just do it. If you have no money at all, fuck it. Just grab your iPhone and make a movie. Um, because don't be shy. Don't be like, oh, I can't do it. It's too hard to make a movie. And what will people think? Fuck that, man. If that what makes you glad and makes you happy, then just do it, man. I mean, that making movies is like the only thing that keeps me from going completely insane. So if you have it in you and you really want to make movies, then do it, and then it will only go upwards from there. So yeah. Let me just see here. Okay, another question. Have you submitted your film to any festival, and what has the reception been like? Yeah, let me see. My movie was shown in August this year in a underground cinema in Denmark, and that's actually it has only been shown there. This is actually the second time people are seeing this film, but it was shown in an underground cinema called Husets Biograf in Copenhagen. And the reception has actually been very good. After the movie, the whole cinema was standing up, and there was a lot of people who couldn't take it and was sitting like this. And I remember there was a girl crying and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And after the film has been shown, all the people involved and some fans and stuff, we just went to the city and had a great time. So that was cool. Any more questions? Well, I can tell you that I wrote the synopsis for the film in 2011. Then I went working on my other film called Sunken Danish before I got back to finish this movie. And in November 2012 we began filming. So and in April we did the last shooting. So that was cool. Okay, another question. You used a lot of cool practical special effects and gore. Did you have a lot of experience in working with that? Yeah, this is my second feature film, and I have also done a lot of short films where I did all the special effects by myself. But for this movie, the special effects you see with the girl who's getting her head cut off, and the girl who's ripped out all her entrails and stuff. That's actually a guy called Janus Winter who has made that, and he's a professional guy living in Denmark, and he's a cool, great guy. He's also done special effects for a Danish zombie film called Resurrection. I don't know if you know it, but that was cool. Okay, another question. Any accidents on the set? Yeah. No, not really. It was actually very fun, and the actresses has had a great time. But I can tell you another story. One of the girls in the film, I won't say which one, but we did the shooting, and like a week after we finished the shoot, her agent called me, and he said that she hasn't talked to him about doing this project, so she is not allowed to use her real name in this movie. And I can't do any promotion with her name, and that's kind of sad because she's upcoming actress. But yeah, that was kind of weird, I guess. But her agent won't allow her to do horror movies, so weird. Okay, another question. How many days was the shoot? Well, we began shooting in November 2011 and we finished in April, and I think we did about 20 days of shooting, I guess. So, yeah, that is actually not much, but it has been spread for like half a year, all over different days and stuff. Yes. Okay, another question. Do you have any other projects in the works? Yeah, I have. I'm currently working on a new feature film called Monstrosity, where I actually myself play the lead character, and Rose Milling, who you also saw in this movie, the girl who was posing with not a lot of clothes on, she plays the other lead character, and that's a kind of very brutal serial killer movie. So yeah, and that Monstrosity, which the movie is called, will be out in April next year. Okay, another question. If you could work with one person, who would it be? Okay, I really enjoy like underground, low-budget, independent movies, and I'm a huge fan of toe tag pictures. So I guess it would be pretty cool to work with Fred Vogel, who did August Underground. Yeah, I also have it on my shirt here. I'm a huge fan of toe tag, and I think Fred, he is just the greatest guy. So that would be so awesome to work with him. But you know, you also have a little dream in your stomach to work on a big budget horror movie. But I guess that most time you see a big budget horror movies, it's not good. You know, all the horror movies coming out from Hollywood, that's not so good. I mean, The Conjuring is good, but it's very there's a long way between the good ones. Okay, let me see here. Okay, another question. Do you use any cliches from other horror movies in yours? Uh, I don't know if I understand the question, but I guess I do. I will try to answer it. I guess that you always want to make your own and do something new, but you will always be like inspired by movies which you like and stuff like that. But I think it's also very important that when you make movies, you're trying to do something new. You should do something that has not been seen before. Okay, another question. How do you fund your films? Is it all personally funded, crowdfunded? It's all personally funded. All the movies, all the money is from my own pocket. Um, all the movies, not movies, all the money I earn from my job, I use them to make movies. So I have no sponsors, no other producers than myself, so I do it all from my own pocket. So that's very expensive, but this is what I like to do, so I have to do it, so that's cool enough. Okay, another question. Is it hard making a go in the industry as it would be in the US? Well, Denmark is a little country, so I guess it's in a way easier in this country to be a name and people will know who you are, and you know, I'm a very independent underground filmmaker, but it seems like people know who I am, and I get a lot of messages on Facebook from people who think that, oh, your movie was great or stuff like that. But as US is a bigger country, maybe it would be easier to get more fans and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, another question. If you could remake any film, what would it be? Ooh, interesting. Well, I'm not a huge fan of remakes, as most horror fans are. But if I should do one, I would love to be the one who have done the new Texas Chainsaw 3D, because that movie was so shit and a shame to the original. So I think if I got the opportunity to make another Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it would be a lot more better than that one, because that was really shit. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre being my favorite horror movie, it would be fucking awesome to make a new one. Okay, another question. Have you had any conversations about distributing for your film? No, not really. Um, I was thinking a little about contact Unearthed Films, because all the films that he has there, they're just awesome. But maybe I will also contact some distributors in Denmark, but maybe I will just like distribute the film myself. Yeah, but I don't know yet. First of all, I have to send the film out on some festivals around the world, I guess, and then I will see what happens, and then people can contact me if they're interested in doing something. Okay, another question. Was this your first film, or have you filmed others, shorts, features, and so on? Well, I have did one feature film before this one, and it's called Sunken Danish. That's also a very like art house serial killer movie. Um, and then I have done Madness of Many, which you just saw, and then I'm working on Monstrosity, which actually is Sunken Danish too. But I have also done a lot of short films. One called Make Them Suffer, and another one called Rex Inferno, which is out here in Denmark. It's a short film, but it's out. You can buy them in different shops and stuff. And it was shown on a film festival in Denmark called Movie Battle, which was a like battle of the movies, where the theme was supernatural horror. So I did a little short movie about some Satanists killing people in a forest. So that was cool. You should let us air them. Yeah, I can send you a Sunken Danish, I guess, and we'll probably also send you the new one. But yeah, that would be fucking awesome. Even though that you're not like really, what you call it, impressed about the work you did before, like the first short movie I made, I can't even watch it now because I think it's so bad. But yeah, it has to be a progress. You have to be getting better at what you do, so I guess that's pretty normal. Okay, another question. What has been the hardest challenge in directing films thus far? Okay, well, it has probably been then I work like alone. I'm my own producer, and I do everything myself. And it can be so. I really love doing it, but it really can be so fucking stressful. Uh, and I have like cried before because it could get so much, and you don't know what to do and where should you get the money from, and so there's a lot of things who should fall into space, but yeah. But when you just have to remember that in the ending you will have your own movie to watch. So that's what keeps you going. But it can be very stressful, I guess. Okay, another question. Have you gotten a lot of support from your family and friends? Nice question. Well, yes, I have. Um, in the beginning, I only made movies with my friends, as most independent filmmakers do, and I also used some of them in Madness of Many. So they are very into filmmaking, and when your friends know that you make films, they all want to be a part of it. Please let me be in your movie and play a psychopath. All people want to do that, I guess. And my family has been very supportive, especially my parents. They are always there. They always come and see the movie to the first screening and stuff. So they have always been very supportive in what I do. So that's so cool. Another question: do you find it harder to act than to direct? Yeah, I really do. Especially if there are some lines I have to remember. Um, but I like directing the most. But when I make movies, I actually don't write a script play. I only write guidelines or treatment, you can call it. So I make all the people involved in my movies improvise what they are saying, and all which is happening in my film, especially Madness of Many, all is improvised. I just have some guidelines and I tell people that I think this will happen, but let's see what's going on. And then the camera will start rolling, and then we just see what happens. And probably well, most of the time it's something good. I actually also acted in Madness of Many, which you just saw. I have a little role in there, so that's kind of cool. But directing is the thing. But yeah, it's very. It can be very. What you call it? Yeah, it's so fun to act like a psychopath in a movie. So that's easy to act, and I think it actually is for most people. We all have a little psychopath in us, I guess. Okay, another question. There is a deep psychological element in Madness of Many, discussion of rape and such. When you were putting this together, was there a personal experience that you drew on for inspiration, be it yours or someone you know? Yeah, I'm very into like questions about the universe, so that's probably something I experienced myself. I'm a huge, I don't know what to call it, but a huge fan of a Danish philosopher called Martinus Thomsen. Um, and he has explained, the meaning of life, the meaning of universe. And so what I have got from his work, I would try to like mix it up with my movie. And the whole philosophy behind the movie is like, yeah, I believe there is a reason for all which is happening in life, even if it's suffering and bad things. I think there is a reason for why people suffer, and I'm trying to tell what I believe through my film. Yeah, you could probably go through life and be very negative, especially if you think that there's absolutely no reason for why bad things are happening to you. I think we need to experience suffering so that we can work ourselves up in this eternal life spiral, and in many years become a creature made out of pure love. So, yeah, that's what I believe. Probably sound a little insane when I'm saying it, but okay, another question. Do you have any cool behind-the-scenes stories from the set of the film? Yeah, I guess I have. When we were out shooting, I always said to the people involved that if it's getting too much, they should say Oklahoma to stop the shooting. And there was a girl who was saying it because she almost got choked. She couldn't breathe, so she had to say that. But other than that, it's actually been like the greatest ride in my life to make this movie. Um, I really love doing it, and I cast all the actors and actresses myself. And one of the like greatest things about making this film is probably all the people I got to know from making it. They were all so nice to work with. And I'm also using some of the actresses to my new film Monstrosity. Most of the actresses that you see in Madness of Many is actually from Sweden. Uh, but when we were out filming out on the set, we just have so much fun. And even though that is a very brutal and depressive kind of movie, I guess, in between shots we just laugh at and had a very good time. And all people involved are so good to help on the set with all kind of things. But I also shot a scene with a girl who didn't like being covered in blood. So I guess that was maybe a little wrong cast, because I didn't told her that you will get covered in blood, a lot of blood. But yeah, I think she have a fun, and she's also promoting this film as well. So okay, another question: how do you always stay so positive and not let things get you down? Nice one. That's good. Well, yeah, I do have my bad days, but I think it's like important to get positive and being positive in life, and whatever comes through your way, you just grab it and see what you can do about it, even though if it's bad things. But I'm trying to be positive, but I would love to say that I'm always positive and stuff. But yeah, you have bad days, and you can be negative some days, I guess. But nice one. Any more questions? Just looking. Okay, another question. Give us a little bit of a glimpse into the story of Monstrosity. Well, I will. It's a movie about. It's a very depressive movie um, about a couple, a man and a woman, and they just fucking like they're so sick. They're psychopaths. And for that movie, I was very inspired by August Underground. But at the same way, I really want to make something different than August Underground. The whole movie is in black and white, and all what you hear in the movie when the people talk, their voice sounds like it's very dark, and it's very deep. And throughout the whole movie there is this ambient sound, so it's kind of like you go into these two characters' mind, and the whole movie is kind of a nightmare, and there are some pretty sick things going on in that film, and there is a lot of blood, even though the whole movie is in black and white. Um, but I shot most of the scenes myself, but I'm also acting in the film. And Rose Milling, who's in it, yeah, you have to see it, but she did like a fucking good job. She's so awesome in that movie, and she should probably get an award because she's so good in it. And the ending of the film is just some of the greatest things I have ever written. So you have to see it. It's going to be fucking awesome. Okay, another question. Are there any independent films you have seen recently that you would recommend? Okay, let me think about it. First of all from Totec Pictures I would recommend, especially the August Underground trilogy. Um, and the August Underground trilogy and Lucifer Valentine's films, I see them like 3 times a week. Uh, I really love what that they are doing. Um, but I think you should keep an eye on Fred Rogel from Totec, because he's going to do a lot of great stuff, I guess. I also just recently watched James Colin Bresak's movie. I know he has been on indie horror as well, like To Jennifer and Hate Crime, um, especially Hate Crime. Cool movie, cool movie, and he's a fucking great guy. Yes, James Colin Bresak is awesome. He is. And he did his first movie at, I think he was 18, so that's where I made my first like real short film. So that's pretty cool. And I'm 22 years old now, so. Another question: what was the very first horror film you ever watched? Let me think. Yeah. Okay, I know it. It was The Exorcist. Um, I remember when my parents didn't want me to watch it, but I got it somehow, and I went home watching it, and I just remember that it was like my whole world just changed, and I saw everything in a different way. And when I went to school the day after, it was just like I just felt that something in me has changed, and it was like people could see it on me, and I was like to my friends in school, I have just seen The Exorcist, and they were all like, "No, really? Oh my god!" I just remember, so cool movie, man. How old were you when you first saw it? Well, I have been, I don't know, maybe 8 years old, 9 years old, I guess. Um, but that was the first horror movie I remember to have seen, and the first horror movie which did such huge impression on me, who did something in me. So that's very rare for a movie to do that, I guess. The Exorcist is the first horror film I saw as well. I was 7. Nice. I think that the Exorcist, for most people, is like the first horror movie they saw. But yeah, what can you say? It's a fucking great movie. Yeah, we all have our own story. I just remember that, yeah, the Exorcist is a great movie, and it has like this fever, nightmare, bad dream kind of things to it. That's so cool. You just have so great scenes that film. Okay, another question. Do you have any information about where people can pick up a copy of your film? Well, you can contact uh, my independent film company called Hellbound Pictures, and you can get in touch with us at our Facebook site. It's Facebook/Hellbound666 Productions, and just give us a message, and we can see what we can do. Hellbound Pictures, any reference to Hellraiser 2? Yeah, a little, I guess. I wasn't actually thinking about it when we made the name, but now when I see it, I guess it's pretty cool that you could think about Hellraiser 2 by seeing our names. So. Any final questions? Well, if not, I would just like to say thank you for tuning in, and it's a great honor to be a part of this indie horror director's chat. Okay, we have a question. If you had to write a book about filmmaking, what would it be called? Shit, that's a tough one. Well, what would it be called about filmmaking? Nice meeting you too, man. Well, I don't know, and I don't think that I ever will do a book. I would probably do like a documentary movie about making movies. Maybe, yeah, making movies the greatest things ever, the greatest feeling ever. It's just fucking great, yeah. But nice meeting you too, man. And thank you for being a part of this chat. It was so cool. I'm very tired now, so probably will go to bed before I have to go to school tomorrow. Yes, thank you. It was fucking great honor. We'll do it again if I have to. So thank you. So cool. No problem. Thank you for your time.